Hey guys, as you know, I don't usually do videos on the weekdays because I'm usually really busy and I have rehearsal and I come home and I just want to do homework and go to bed and that's it. But today I'm making a special exception because, recently, well not recently, I think like a month ago, I talked to my geometry teacher because I'm struggling in geometry. And he told me I could do an extra credit project. So I asked if I could do a YouTube video for my channel. So he said sure. So I would get extra credit for it and I could really use it. So I'm going to talk to you today about geometry, which will be fun to talk about because I have never done it. And I'm going to attempt to explain circles because I understand it. So hopefully you guys will understand it. If you're not interested in watching this video for math, obviously because I usually do makeup videos, then exit out of it now. But if you really just want to watch me teach you math, then absolutely continue. The supplies you'll need to do these circles is a piece of lined paper, obviously, a pencil, and a calculator, unless you can do math in your head like my math teacher can sometimes. Sometimes he'll have a little mix-up, but most of the time he does it in his head. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the arc length in specific reasoning, and possibly if I feel like it, I'll talk about the other thing. What's it called? The sector something. Sector area or something like that, but first I'm going to talk to you about arc length. So let's get into it. Okay, so the formula for circles, arc length in specific, which you would probably want to write down if you're going to be taking notes like I am while doing the video, is you can really use any variable you want as your arc length value. I'm going to use S, so the formula is S equals 2 pi r. And you can't substitute 2 pi or r out for any random value because the 2 is simply the number that you are needed to, is the part of the formula. Pi obviously is 3.14. You can continue the number, but the simplified version. And then the r stands for the radius of the circle. So I'm just going to show you my paper. I think at some points, like, but that's the basic formula. So that's what I have written right here in case you want to see. And I labeled it circles arc length. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a circle. Your circle does not have to be perfect to any sort. And basically you just draw a dot in the middle of the circle and then draw like an angle. The angle, honestly, it doesn't matter. Like that. And then you're going to give yourself a length. You can also look up papers if you want, but I'm just giving out problems. So I'm going to say the radius of this is 4. And then you always want to also, after you give yourself a radius, you have to give yourself a, then you have to give yourself, I believe you have to give yourself a degree for the angle that you're giving yourself. You can just randomly name it if you want. So I'm just going to say this is 20 degrees for argument's sake. And remember, a circle is 360 degrees in total. So after that, then you go and you solve for your your arc length. So you would write out, let me first show you my circle. Like that. So then you go and you write out S equals 2. You can write out the formula if you want, or you can just start substituting things in. 2 times 3.14, or you don't actually have to put in 3.14 yet. You can leave your answer in pi, which I'll show you in a second. So 2 times your radius, which would be 8 pi as your answer. And as you can see, all I did was substituted my 4 because that's the given radius as in my r. And then I doubled that because there's a 2 and I got 8 pi. Sometimes on papers, you will be asked to like simplify your answer fully down. It'll be like leave your answer in decimals. And obviously this is not going to come out in decimals unless I multiply it by pi. So just for argument's sake, I'll say like this is the answer, but I'll also like simplify it down to give you the second option of your answer. So if they say leave it in decimal form, then that means they want you to multiply your answer that you get times pi, because then it's not like you can leave it like that, but sometimes they'll ask you otherwise. So I'm going to do 8 times 3.14 equals, and I get 25.12. Well, that looks backwards, but that's the answer. So S equals 25.12. Sometimes they also give you a length on your radius, so I'll say feet. So that's going to be your answer, 25.12 feet. Also, always check if what your teachers want you to round your answer to. Sometimes it'll be the nearest tenth. Most of the time it is, at least in my class, it's to the nearest tenth. And then from that, then you go on to continue with degrees. So let me just take a quick second and I will continue that in a minute. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take the degrees that I gave earlier, which, recheck my circle, it is 20 degrees I put. So now what you do is you're going to divide 20 degrees by 360, because like I said, a whole circle is 360 degrees. And then you're going to multiply that by this one after that, but I suggest you just divide first. So 20 divided by 360 is equal to 0.055. Continuing on. And then multiply that by 25.12, and that'll equal 1.39545. But I'm going to reduce that. So it's equal to 1.3. I'm just going to say, I'm going to round that up to 1.40 to be safe. And that, my friends, is your answer right there. 1.40. So here's my full paper. I don't know what the face is about. Here's my full paper. It's pretty simple. Okay, so for sector area, I believe that's what it's called. I'm just gonna scribble on my paper. Sector area. I'm just gonna write that down. The equation is A equals, and it's almost always A. I don't know why, but that's just what the formula is. I'm not gonna mess with it. Is pi r squared. So it's a little different. You just want to make sure you don't mix up arc length and sector area. So I'm going to draw another circle. Here's my formula. Here's my circle. Draw another dot. You always have to have a dot in the middle of your circle. Always. So I'm going to say my radius is 12 inches. Almost always they'll give you a unit. And then I'm going to say my angle is roughly, I don't know, 44 degrees. There's my circle. It's not that beautiful, but it doesn't matter. Just making sure you understand the math. That really counts. So from that, you go and you say A equals blah, 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 blah. Like I said, again, you could leave this in pi. So I'm just going to do 12 squared, which I already know off the top of my head is 144 degrees. Because I had to memorize those at one point. Like all my, what were like perfect cubes? I think that's what they're called. Just kidding. I don't think that's right. But whatever. But you get the point. Like my doubles, when you double the numbers. By themselves. So it's 144 degrees pi as your answer. Not your full answer, because that's not all you have to do. It's not that easy. I mean, it's easy, but it's not as easy as that. So, like I said, you could also reduce that down, but I'm going to keep that in there, actually, just because I like that. And I always circle my answers, just because on my test, if there's a lot of work, you just want to circle your answer. Okay. And then basically from that, you do the same thing that you do with arc length, which is pretty convenient, because if you got down arc length, you kind of get down sector area. Just a little bit different. But yeah, so that is how you would find the radius of it, roughly. Well, yeah. I'm going to stop there because this video is going to get way too long. But yeah, I hope this helps you guys if you're confused with math. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. I tried my best. I attempted. For those of you that are watching, because I know my teacher's going to show this in class, most likely none, you guys are probably going to embarrass me in class now. Or just think I'm a freak. But hey, I am doing extra credit. And I need it, and I wanted to do this because it's a funner way of teaching. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was beneficial to your learning, to your brain. But anyways, I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you guys soon for a makeup video and no more math videos. Bye, guys.